8 mice for males. For females, put them somewhere with unlimited food, unlimited water, no disease, no predators, no cold, no hunger, no threat of any kind. Now wait 5 years. Every single one of them will be dead, and not one of those deaths will show up on a vet's report. No virus, no tumor, no injury. They will simply stop being alive in every way that matters, long before their hearts stop beating. This is Universe 25. It is, quite possibly, the most disturbing experiment ever conducted on a society. And the society was never human. 1968. A federal research laboratory in Maryland. A scientist named John B. Calhoun is about to build something he calls a paradise. Calhoun isn't a mad scientist. He's an ethologist, a man who has spent decades asking one question, over and over, in a dozen different forms. What happens to a society when nothing is hard anymore? He has already tried to answer it 24 times. A quarter-acre of forest, barns, sealed lab rooms, 24 separate paradises, built for rats and mice. Stripped of every danger nature ever designed them to survive. And 24 times, he has watched the same nightmare unfold in miniature. Population explodes. Violence spikes. Mating collapses into something feral and wrong. Apathy spreads like a virus with no biological cause. And the colony dies. 24 experiments. 24 identical endings. This, Universe 25, is meant to be the 25th. The clean one. The one so perfectly controlled that no scientist, no skeptic, no critic could argue with the result. 9 feet square. Walk-up apartments stacked floor to ceiling. Hoppers that never run empty. Water bottles that never run dry. Calhoun does the math. This space, he calculates, could comfortably hold 3,800 mice. It will never come close. On day 1, he places his 8 founders inside and closes the lid. For 104 days, almost nothing happens. The mice explore. They map the tunnels. They work out, mouse by mouse, who sleeps where. It looks, for a moment, like it might actually work. And the first litters are born, and the population starts to double. Every 55 days. Twice as many mice as the cycle before. By day 315, more than 600 mice are living inside that 9-foot square. They climb over each other on the ramps. They sleep stacked in piles at the tops of the apartments, jostling for space that no longer exists. This is the moment everything begins to come apart. In the wild, when a colony outgrows its territory, there's a release valve. The surplus leaves. They migrate. They find new ground. Inside Universe 25, there is no new ground. There is only the lid. The young males feel it first. No territory to claim. No role left to fill. Nowhere to go. They begin to drift toward the center of the pan, and they simply stop. Calhoun stands above the enclosure for hours at a time, just watching them do nothing. No fights to win. No females to court, nothing to defend, and nothing to become. When one of them is attacked, he doesn't fight back. He lies there, absorbs it, then stands, walks a few feet, and lies back down. Not every male goes quiet, though. At the opposite end of the spectrum, a second group forms in the same breath, frantic, indiscriminate. They move through the colony faster than anything else alive in it, forcing their way into nests other males are still trying to defend. Skipping every courtship ritual the rest of the colony still follows, refusing to be deterred even by violence. In the worst pockets of the enclosure, behaviors start to appear that no functioning mouse society has ever produced. And then something even stranger happens. Something Calhoun starts calling the behavioral sink. Food is equally available everywhere in the enclosure. It always has been. But the mice begin crowding, compulsively, aren't just a handful of feeders. They won't eat alone anymore. The presence of other mice has become so wired into the act of eating itself that an empty feeder, no matter how full the hopper behind it, has become useless to them. So the crowding gets worse and worse around fewer and fewer stations. While most of the enclosure sits nearly empty, space no one will use, food no one will touch, this is where it stops being about crowding and starts being about something darker. Defending a nest in this environment takes constant work, and the males who once claimed and guarded that territory are exhausted now, worn down from patrolling ground that no longer means anything. They stop protecting their families. So the mothers are left to defend the nest themselves, while still nursing, while still trying to hold together something the world around them no longer supports. Some of them turn on their own young. They abandon pups in scattered corners of the enclosure. Some forget which litters are even theirs. Others stop recognizing their own offspring at all. And in the worst stretches of the colony, mothers begin eating their own young. In some sections, fewer than 1 in 20 newborn mice survive long enough to be weaned. Calhoun will write later that by this point the social fabric of the colony is effectively dead. The bodies are still alive. The thing that held them together as a society is not. The pups that do survive are raised by mothers who barely register that they exist. They have no model of what a functioning life inside this place is even supposed to look like. And when they grow up, they become something Calhoun has never seen before. In any of his 24 prior worlds, the males of this generation never fight, never attempt to mate, never engage in a single social act of any kind for their entire lives. They eat, they sleep, and they groom themselves obsessively, endlessly. Their coats stay flawless because they never once get close enough to another mouse to get into a fight. They move through the colony as if none of the other mice exist at all. Calhoun names them the beautiful ones. They look, on the surface, like the healthiest mice in the entire enclosure. They are also, functionally, already dead. Their nervous systems developed inside a world where every role a mouse could hold had already been filled by someone else. So they simply opted out of mating, of conflict, of connection. Of the species itself. Day 560. The population peaks at 2,200 mice. It will never go higher than this again. Day 920. The last successful conception inside Universe 25 takes place. After that day, nothing. No new mice. Not one. Ever again. The colony keeps aging anyway. The beautiful ones keep grooming themselves in their private corners. The secluded females stay locked away in the high apartments they claimed and never left. Violence still flares in pockets here and there, but it has no purpose left to serve. No territory, no stakes, nothing to win. And one by one, the mice simply die of old age, with no one behind them to take their place. May 23, 1973. The last mouse in Universe 25 dies. 4 years and 10 months after Calhoun closed that lid. He will later write that the colony died 2 deaths. The first was the death of the spirit. The second, years later, was only the death of the body. When Calhoun's paper is finally published, the world runs hard with the easy reading. Comfort kills. Abundance kills. A life with no struggle is a life that destroys itself. The image of the beautiful ones, flawless, groomed, and quietly extinct, becomes one of the most cited metaphors of the late 20th century. Urbanists reach for it. Religious leaders reach for it. Politicians on every side of every argument reach for it. Everyone who wants to warn the world about the decay of modern life finds something in those mice they can use. But that reading was never what Calhoun actually said. His real conclusion is sitting right there in the paper. In his own words, the whole time. Almost nobody quotes it. For an animal as complex as a human being, he wrote, a similar collapse wasn't just possible. It was logical. If the number of individuals capable of filling meaningful roles greatly exceeds the number of roles available, he wrote, only violence and disruption can follow. The killer was never comfort. It was the disappearance of meaning. When the number of mice outran the number of things worth doing, the ones with no place left simply stopped functioning. The fighters had no one left to fight. The mothers were defending nests that no one helped them hold. The young grew up with nothing they were ever expected to inherit. The food never ran out. The water never ran out. What ran out was something nobody had thought to put into the paradise to begin with. Comfort didn't kill them. It only removed the friction that made being alive feel like something. And here is the part almost no one quotes. Calhoun was never a doomer. He spent the rest of his career not predicting the collapse. He spent it trying to prevent it. He kept building new universes. He kept changing the variables. He was looking, relentlessly, for the one thing he could put back into a paradise that would let it keep working. He believed it could be done. He believed humans could choose differently than the mice did. As physical space contracts, he wrote, the only way forward is to extend ourselves into conceptual space, into ideas, into networks, into the work of building roles that did not exist before. He called it ideational generativity, a long phrase for a simple idea. The way out is to keep making new reasons to be here, but the experiment is still sitting there in the data, and touched, and forgiving, perfectly designed paradise. 8 mice. 5 years, a complete extinction. And a cause of death that no toxicology report on Earth will ever be able to name. The mice never got a choice. We still do. What happens next is on us.